All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is William Isaacs. I am moderating today for Shannon Weatherby from the Florida Department of Transportation. She's giving a presentation on coordinating FDOT's geospatial and enterprise data updates with MyFloridaLRS. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn that over to Shannon. And there you go, Shannon. You should be able to share your screen now.
All right, thanks, Will. Good afternoon. Can you see and hear me?
Yes.
All right, great. My name is Shannon Weatherby, and I'm the Linear Referencing System Coordinator in the TDA office with the Florida Department of Transportation. MyFloridaLRS is a web application that's designed to ensure a consistent workflow for updating the Florida Department of Transportation's FDOT geospatial and enterprise data. It's basically a workflow manager that's used to facilitate the RCI and the LRS. So this presentation is going to cover our new and old process of updating the data, features found in MyFloridaLRS, and then what's next. So TDA maintains two databases, the Roadway Characteristics Inventory, known as RCI, and then the Linear Referencing System, or the LRS. Many are familiar with this who use iView. So updates to RCI and the LRS include addition, deletion of a roadway, lengthening and shortening of a roadway, and modifying a roadway such as the overall status or the governmental jurisdiction. So in the old days, this was literally done using paper forms where a person would walk around and plop a paper package on someone's desk. And the RCI LRS packages consist of a cover sheet, which is this, a VUD screen, which is your typical, it's the view, update, and delete the roadway ID in RCI. And then it would accompany with a paper map and also sometimes GPS files. So each roadway had its own VUD screen. Whoops, so, I'm sorry. So now we've taken the this correction form, this paper correction form, and turned it into a web app. So now this has been transformed into this screen. And also each individual roadway that was formerly on the VUD screen is now presented digitally through the web app. So the features of MyFloridaLRS that didn't have in the old days is that it allows for automated email notifications, GIS zoom to location, more transparencies between the district and central office, and then also historical lookup. So I'll be going through each of these features. So the automated email notifications, there's two different kinds. One is sent and lets you know when a package is completed. This is sent to the district that the package is owned by, and then anyone else who's concerned with that particular package. The second type of email notification is internal and sent to the RCI and LRS coordinators. So each morning, an email is sent daily that will let you know not only which package, but which roadway requires your attention. Another feature of MyFloridaLRS is a GIS Location Map. If a roadway currently exists in the LRS, through the application, you're able to click on it and view the roadway in question. And this is also powered through iView. A third feature of the MyFloridaLRS is transparency. This is one that was a big issue before when we did the paper copies, was where in the process is this? So this is an easy way for the districts to easily look up where their package is in central office. So we'll start with the features. You've got the district number here, so it'll let you know what the district there's 8 districts within FDOT. So it'll let you know this is from District 5. And then it'll let you know this is the name of the package. This is the date that it was submitted. And then down here was the last time that someone actually modified it. And then it's been 4 days since submitted. And then the progress graph is a cool little visual. So when it's first sent in, this is just totally blue. And then when it's first addressed and assigned to the central office coordinators, then the graph starts moving and it progresses as each of the coordinators has marked off the roadway ID has been reviewed. So a second aspect of the transparency is on this update screen. It's letting each of the coordinators know that they have something that they need to do. And once they do it, they mark it as reviewed. So now as a district person, I can go in and say, okay, this is done in RCI, but this feature hasn't been updated yet. So I need to wait a little bit. So this just allows the districts to just let them know where in the process, whereas before it was done via email or a phone call. And so the last aspect of MyFloridaLRS that's really cool that I want to point out is the historical lookup aspect. So there's two, whoops, mess that up. There's two ways to address, to look up historical packages. One is to go into the history, and this just tells you these are all the packages that central office has completed, and it goes through and sorts them by date, starting with the most recent. Before I do that, I want to go back, and this is a second way that you can also do a historical lookup is by typing in the roadway ID. And this allows you to see which packages this particular roadway ID has come through. So you see it came in 2014 and then was revisited in 2018. And then you have to go in through the package to see what happens. But this is also a great feature to at least let you know that something happened to this roadway ID. So now I want to go through and do a demonstration of MyFloridaLRS. And I'm going to start as a district, and I'm going to create a package and then just walk through the process. So this is the home screen of MyFloridaLRS. And currently I'm in the role of a District 4 coordinator. So this is what I'm going to see. So right now, there's nothing I need to do, but I can see everything that's active. And so what I want to do is I want to create a new package because I have a roadway that I want to lengthen. So I'm going to go over here and create a new package. So my package ID, I'm just going to call it SHRUG 2020 demo. So now my package has been created and I see it here in draft. So I'm going to open it up and there's nothing in here. So I need to add roadways. So I've got a roadway 86070040. And here I'm going to choose what I want to do with this roadway. And I want to lengthen it. And I'm only going to do one roadway for this package. So now I've decided I've got this roadway in here. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to say, yes, this is the roadway I want. And then I'm going to go in here and these are the options. It's saying right here, it's telling me that this is already in the system. So if I want to lengthen it, I'm going to have to look at these. I'm going to have to look at the LRS. I'm going to have to look at RCI. And then it's also on the SIS. So I need to keep that in mind. So I'm going to click on the ellipses right here and go in. And now this is the current what's current in RCI. So for those of you familiar with RCI, this is the roadway. So I'm going to go back over here and I want to lengthen it. So I'm going to lengthen it to 9.87. And then I'm going to write down here, oops, please lengthen the LRS. And I'm going to spell it right. And so on and so forth. So, excuse me. So once I'm finished, once I have all of this filled out, then I'm going to save all. And now I'm going to go back through and assign these. So these have already been assigned for me, like I said earlier. And I'm going to say, well, feature 112, I think I'm going to go ahead and request for that to be reviewed anyway. So now I'm happy with this. I'm going to go in and submit my package. It's going to come up with a warning saying, hey, are you sure you've run the boundary report? Do you have all the, the maps, the shape files, everything you need included? Yes, submit. So now that package has been submitted. And I'm going to come over here as the package coordinator, which reload. And I'm going to see that this is now assigned to me and the graph is empty because nothing's happened. It's become active and it was 0 days. So now I'm going to go in, I'm going to look at it and say, oh, okay, they want to lengthen it. Great. So now I'm going to assign it to all of these coordinators. So by doing this, they will now get notified via email in the morning if they haven't had a chance to address it today. So now I'm going to go in here, and now I'm the RCI coordinator. So sorry I'm jumping around, but this is just to give you the different roles. Well, let me just go in here. So I can see this is as the RCI coordinator in the central office. This is everything that I have to work on right now. So I see that this one just came in. I'm going to open this. And so I see that this is assigned to me. And so when I open it, I say, oh, they want to lengthen it to this length. So then as the RCI coordinator, I would go into the RCI application and lengthen it through RCI. Then I would come back into MyFloridaLRS and say, updated to the length and then initials. So now my work here is done. And then I've reviewed it. So anyway, this goes so on and so forth until each of the coordinators have finished processing it. And then once all of the coordinators have reviewed it, sorry about this, it takes a second to reload. Then as the package coordinator, I would go back in and change this, put it into QA/QC, then it would be reviewed and completed, and then it would be sent off the emails. It would become part of the historical record from there. And then the district would, within a couple minutes, would receive the email that it was completed. So in a nutshell, that's the MyFlorida, that's the MyFloridaLRS web application. So What's next? Currently, the department is moving towards adopting the Esri Roads and Highways extension for the linear referencing system and RCI. If you're not familiar with it, it's called IRACE. And it's used, Roads and Highways is going to take our LRS and our RCI and combine it into one system. So basically it's showing you that we're taking our LRS network and our RCI network and joining it into one, Roads and Highways. And now we've got MyFloridaLRS as a workflow manager to help facilitate this process. Any questions?
All right, Shannon, I'm going to go and see what we got for questions. Remind everybody that if you have a question, please go ahead and type it in at the bottom of your GoToWebinar control panel in the questions area.
No questions?
Currently, no, Shannon, we don't have any questions.
All right, well, I kind of ran through that pretty quick.
Oh, here we go. We got one question. So what is the time frame for converting to the Esri Roads and Maps? I'm assuming that's Esri Roads and Highways.
That's a great question. So, and I don't have an answer for that. It's an ongoing project and it's getting there. It's an agile workflow, so it's constantly changing and we're making progress.
Okay. I hope that answers your question there, Sam. Anybody else got any questions?
Well, I really appreciate you guys.
Oh, we got another one. We got another one. How did you get by, or how did you get buy-in across the stakeholders in this?
So the stakeholders, a large part of the stakeholders came from the districts within the FDOT. So to start off, we did a one-on-one district outreach and had a list of questions on, what would you like to see on improvements? And this took about a year to go through and meet with all of the individual stakeholders. And then we took that. I hope that answers the question.
No, I was trying to prompt you to expand upon that a little bit.
Okay, so all the information that we gathered from these one-on-one meetings was then compiled, and we sat down and discussed it with the developers, what could be done, kind of what we could keep or what was for, version 2.
Outstanding. Another question came in. Are the districts already using roads and highways?
No. Currently, Florida has not gone to roads and highways yet. So the districts are currently using MyFloridaLRS as a way to streamline updates to RCI and MyFloridaLRS, and the LRS.
Okay. Can the district requester update the RCI directly?
So the districts update the majority of features to RCI. The central office, we only update certain features. It's only a handful of features.
Okay.
But as far as length, so back to the, whoops. These are the things that the districts cannot change. Are these on the screen? The addition, deletion, length and shortening, the overall status, the governmental jurisdictions. Also, overall description and compass direction are done in central office.
Awesome. Awesome. So then we've got actually quite a few questions that came in here.
Great.
How are requests quality controlled for accuracy?
So initially, when they come in, they're reviewed by the package coordinator. And so if they're reviewed by all the coordinators. So if they're missing documents, such as if it's a federal system update and they're missing something from that, they would go through the federal system coordinator. It just depends on it's an individual basis, basically. But it's reviewed. So the quality assurance, though, is at the very end of it. When I showed in the demo, the package goes through QA QC process. So that's reviewed in both RCI and the LRS to make sure that those updates were processed.
Outstanding. When they may be available, or hold on, let me reread. Do you know when the districts may be able to start using roads and highways?
So the central office, I mean, this is going to be a statewide, it's going to be adopted throughout the state at the same time. So it's not just, this is not a matter of central office is going to be using it and the districts aren't. It's going to be an all or nothing type thing.
Okay. How do you know when a road needs to be updated?
That's kind of a loaded question because there's just so many there's so many different things. So there's new construction, there's the 5-year inventory. There's a lot of different ways that there's FM projects. There's just a lot of different ways that roads need to be updated. So I think it's more of a matter of priority.
All right. And the last question that we got is which district is leading or further along with roads and highways? And I think you've already answered that question, meaning that it's going to be all adopted at once. So that's currently all the questions that we have. I believe the session is supposed to end at 1:30, but we're a little ahead here. 1:45 is when the session is supposed to end. So if you want, we can hang out here for a few more minutes and answer some questions, or if you want, we can go ahead and end the session now. So if you got a question, go ahead and throw it in the question box. Otherwise, we're gonna go ahead and end the session.
And feel free to write down, there's 2 email addresses. The one is my contact, and then the other is a group contact for the MyFloridaLRS web app.
Okay. We did have another question come in. When district staff find errors, how do they report the error?
That's usually done through an email.
Okay. So direct communication?
Direct communication, absolutely. If there's something, yeah. So if the package is completed, then it would be through direct communication on if there's an error.
Awesome. Well, you got a couple of good compliments in here. You did an outstanding job, Shannon, and I want to thank you for presenting. And while we've got a little bit of time here, I want to take the screen back and show the what is this guy? There it is. I wanted to show our sponsors. So we were able to put this this SHRUG workshop on virtually this year because we were able to have our sponsors. And I'm trying to get this screen right here to move. Come on, you can do it. There we go. So this year our sponsors were Esri, Tallahassee, Leon County, GIS, and Panda Consulting. They were able to sponsor us and help us foot the bill for GoToWebinar. We do have a couple of more sessions this afternoon. We have let's see, we've got 2 more sessions this afternoon, so that's a total of 4 more classes. Please take a look at the matrix to see what sessions they are and how to sign up and log into those sessions. And that'll do it unless we've got any more questions. I think we're good on that. So thank you all for attending. Do you have any parting comments there, Shannon?
No, just please reach out if there's anything further that, any questions you have. And thanks for listening.
All right. Thank you all very much. Have a great afternoon.